What if one of the most iconic films in cinema was inspired by a paranormal encounter? Before making Yentl, Barbra Streisand made contact with the dead, and what happened next was nothing short of diabolical. Yentl, originally a short story written by Isaac Bashevis Singer, had been a long-time passion project for Streisand. It's a story that touches on identity, gender, and self-fulfillment, relevant themes for any woke artist worth her salt. Moreover, it's a story of a girl who loses her beloved father. Now, Streisand couldn't help but develop a personal connection to the main character since she herself had lost her father when she was very young. Yentl is a woman living in a small Jewish town in Poland in 1904. Her father secretly teaches her the Talmud, even though women aren't allowed to study in their community. Yentl refuses to marry. After her father dies, Yentl cuts her hair, dresses as a man, and takes her late brother's name, Anshel, to enter a yeshiva, a Jewish religious school. There she becomes friends with a student named Avigdor and meets his fiancée, Hadass. When Hadass's family finds out Avigdor's brother died by suicide, they cancel the wedding, fearing madness in his family. They decide that Hadass should marry Anshel instead. Avigdor pushes for the marriage so Hadass won't marry a stranger. Reluctantly, Yentl marries Hadass but doesn't consummate the marriage, saying it's wrong for a woman to give herself to a man while in love with someone else. The journey to bring the screenplay to life was fraught with so many obstacles, including doubts from producers and writers regarding its profitability, as well as her own concerns about being too old for the part, which actually required a 16-year-old to play the title role. While feeling utterly down and out from all the negative reaction surrounding her dream of making Yentl, curiously enough, one random evening, her brother Shelley unexpectedly telephoned. He told her that he had been in contact with a psychic medium and was able to speak to their deceased father. Initially skeptical, yet intrigued by the news, Streisand eventually asked her brother to contact the psychic to perform a seance with her, convinced that perhaps she was being beckoned by her father from beyond the grave to complete the film. Having arrived in New York from LA, Streisand requested to visit her father's grave for the first time. There, with her brother in tow, she took a picture of herself beside her dad's tombstone, the only photo she has with her father. After the visit to the gravesite, she then met with a medium. It was at this meeting that she would witness a most remarkable paranormal encounter. In her recently published memoir, she shares exactly what went down during the seance. The session took place in her brother's home. Upon the medium's arrival at the residence, the three went to the dining area. There, they sat by a small table. Forever the skeptic, Streisand even inspected the bottom of the table to check for any wires attached. After her inspection, all of them held hands across the tabletop. The medium started by asking, "Is anyone here tonight?" She had explained that one tap of the table's leg meant yes, and two taps meant no. Afterwards, Streisand felt a leg of the table do a single tap. The medium then asked, "Who are you?" The medium explained that the table leg would lift when they got to the correct letter. At letter A, the leg lifted. Streisand then quickly asked, "Are you a woman?" Then the table tapped once, which meant yes. Streisand said, "Are you my grandmother Anna?" With more force, the leg tapped yes. Now, frightened by the realization of what was actually happening, that they had indeed made contact with a ghost, Streisand ran for the bathroom. After a while, Streisand popped her head out to see the medium listing a series of letters: M-A-N. Then Shelley yelled, "Manny?" which was their father's nickname. By this time, the curiosity in Streisand grew stronger than the initial fear, so she crept back to where her brother and the medium were seated. The medium asked, "Do you have a message for anyone?" And the table began to spell B-A. The medium said, "Barbara?" Then the medium asked a follow-up question. "What is the message to Barbara?" The table began to spell S-O-R-R. Barbara's brother guessed, "Sorry?" Streisand couldn't believe it. Ever since she was a child, sorry was the one word she had always longed to hear from her father. In her memoir, she was convinced that the medium wasn't making any of it up because the spirit didn't say, "I love you," or "I'm always with you." Instead, the spirit said it was sorry, which for Barbara proved the veracity and authenticity of the medium's abilities. Then the medium asked, "Anything else?" The leg started to pound once more, and it spelled SINGPROUD. Then suddenly the whole table started to move, going back and forth between Barbara and her brother. And after a moment, the table finally stopped moving. But the weirdness didn't just end there at the seance. A week later, when she was back in Los Angeles, remember the photos taken in the New York cemetery? Well, they had arrived. Upon opening the mail, she went into utter shock when she noticed that the tombstone next to her father's bore the name Anshul, the name of Yentl's dead brother, whom she impersonates in the story. They were the signs that she had been waiting for. Little by little, problems started to emerge, as it often does for those who rely on the occult for answers. For one, due to Streisand's lack of experience as director and producer, the film had gone way over budget. As a result, per the contract she had signed with United Artists, she had to pay $1.5 million out of her own pocket, a staggering amount even in today's money. Just when things couldn't get any worse, the original author of Yentl, Isaac Singer, lambasted the movie after its release, stating, "I did not find artistic merit, neither in the adaptation nor in the directing." Many who engage with spirits or the dead unknowingly invite chaos into their lives. What may begin as a search for answers through mediums, spells, or rituals often spirals into deep spiritual bondage. The more one engages with these practices, the further they sink into a world of paranoia, confusion, and fear. From a scriptural perspective, reliance on psychics and paranormal entities directly contradicts biblical teachings. The Bible warns against seeking guidance from mediums or spirits. In Leviticus 19:31, it is written, "Do not turn to mediums or necromancers, do not seek them out, and so make yourselves unclean by them. I am the Lord your God." Celebrities who rely on dark rituals, psychics, or even satanic practices in pursuit of fame, fortune, or power are often left with broken lives, spiritual emptiness, and emotional torment. Lives are often destroyed from the inside out. Once admired figures in Hollywood succumb to depression, anxiety, addiction, or erratic behavior, losing touch with reality. Many become isolated, consumed by the need for more power or influence, often at the expense of their relationships, mental health, and personal values. Those who pursue the occult may think they are controlling their fate, but instead they are sowing seeds of destruction, drawing themselves deeper into spiritual darkness. Scripture also makes clear the dangers of associating with such forces in 2 Corinthians 11:14-15, which warns, "And no wonder, for Satan himself masquerades as an angel of light. It is not surprising, then, if his servants also masquerade as servants of righteousness. Their end will be what their actions deserve." Click on the next video for more stories that unpack God's blueprint for success.